Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Tanya. Today is Tuesday, the 20th day of Iyar. Let's begin with tzedakah. Tzedakah tzedakah brings Mashiach closer. So we continue in chapter 49. We are discussing the two blessings of the Shema. What is the meaning of these blessings? They help us to understand, to appreciate the love that Hashem has for us. First blessing discusses the greatness of all of the angels and the very holy spiritual beings that are completely nullified to Hashem. They seek to connect to Hashem, and yet they say Melo kol haaretz kavado, that Hashem's glory is right here on earth with us. And the second blessing talks about Ahavat Olam, the great love that Hashem has for us, that He contracted His light. Now, despite all of the beautiful songs of the angels and the great levels of the angels, that's not what Hashem chooses. Hashem chooses us right here to be connected with Him. So, in general, thinking about anything, the thoughts, the meditation, is what leads to emotions. And that is true in any area. You think about something that somebody did to you. Somebody there offended you in a way. If you don't think about it, you move on in life. But the more you start thinking about it, what this person did to me, you get upset, you get angry, and you can build up. Same thing is in a positive way. When you think about something good that somebody did to you. Many times when it comes to marriage counseling, one of the methods is to start thinking, what is the good things that your spouse did for you? And meditate and think about it deeply, again and again. And all of a sudden that will change your feelings. Something if people worry about things. If you think about these things, if you meditate and you contemplate these things, then you start worrying. If not, then you move on. So when it comes to in areas in this physical material world that we can relate to, that in a way is easier. But when it comes to meditate on godly concepts, that is certainly more of a challenge. To think about all of these things that we learn about. That is why among Hasidim, they know that the prayer has a very important place in life. And you could find Hasidim who would pray for hours and hours. The morning prayer. And they would meditate and contemplate and try to think about those concepts we're talking about, those blessings of Yetzer Oyer, the blessings of the Shema. And the more you think, the more you develop a desire, a feeling of love to Hashem and wanting to connect to Hashem. And now the question is, what do you do next? After achieving, and by the way, this is something, of course, it's not something that is easily achieved, and it doesn't necessarily have to be every day that we can achieve it. But it is important to do it as much as possible. And even if you don't feel that you're achieving something with your thoughts, the more you think, day after day, once in a while something can click and some type of feeling can be aroused in your heart. So it is important to do it as much as possible. But the question is, what is next? Once the fact we think about the love that we have to Hashem, says the Alter Rebbe, the next thing is we have to actualize this love. We have to manifest that love that we have. It should become become really connected to Hashem. And connected to Hashem, he says, in a form of kissing God. Just like kissing, it's not just a physical attachment, you kiss each other. There is a deeper connection. He said the spirit with the spirit becomes united. Kissing, especially kissing of the mouth, represents a deeper emotional attachment. And Alter Rebbe says that kissing Hashem is through studying the Torah. The mind, your mind unites with the God's mind. The Torah is Hashem's thoughts, Hashem's will, Hashem's intellect. And when verbalizing, saying those words, is the revealing of that connection with Hashem. So let's see inside what Alter Rebbe explains this. Says the Alter Rebbe, "V'hinei, kasher yosim amaskil, eile advorim, el umka de liba, u'moicha, azay mimele kamayim aponim laponim." When the thinking person will reflect on these matters in depth of his heart and brain, then, as surely as water mirrors the image of a face, that's how a person will become desired and loving Hashem. In other words, when you think about those words that we say in the first and the second blessings of the Shema, there is a reciprocal feeling. When the love, likened to the water mirroring the image of a face, takes effect in a person, so that God manifests love for his people, arouses in him a corresponding love towards him, then tislait nafshay v'tislabish b'ruach nedivo leisnadev la'niach v'la'azov kol ashaloi mineged v'rak ledovka bo yizborech. His soul will spontaneously be kindled with love for God, and it will clothe itself in a spirit of benevolence, willingly to lay down and resolutely to abandon all he possesses, for it will no longer be of a major importance to him, in order only to cleave unto him, to cleave unto God. In other words, just like Hashem, as we said yesterday, God contracted his light, and he leaves all these beautiful angels that are there connected to Hashem, and he drops everything, and he contracted his life to a contraction after contraction, and limiting himself, so to speak, in order to reach us and to be connected with us and to create us. The same thing, we have a reciprocal feeling of leaving all those things that are not important in order to connect to Hashem. ורק לדווקא ביזבורך ולכולל באוירי בחשיקו בדבקו וחשיקו וכולו מבחינס נשיקין והזדבקוס רוחה ברוחה כניסקה לאל. In order to only cleave unto him and to be absorbed into his light with an attachment and longing and so forth, in a manner of kissing, and with an attachment of spirit to spirit, as has been explained earlier. Just as kissing involved not only the cleaving of mouths, but also a communion of breaths, so too the spiritual unity involves the union of man's spirit with God's. Man's spirit becomes one with God. Now, what is the spiritual kissing that we're kissing Hashem? So the Alter Rebbe goes on and says, but how does the attachment of spirit to spirit take place? What measures are to be taken if one seeks the desire to only cleave to him? That is why it goes on to say in the Shema, it says, "V'hoyu advarim ha'elu chulu al levavecha v'dibarta bam." To this end, it is stated soon after the phrase, "with all your heart," and so on. We say, "And these words shall be upon your heart, and you shall speak of them." As will soon be explained, that this refers to immersing oneself in the study of Torah and speaking words of Torah. And the way he brings it from the Eitz Chaim, וכמו שכתוב בעץ חיים שייחוד הנשיקים עיקרוי הוא ייחוד חוכמה בינה ודעת בחוכמה בינה ודעת והוא עיון התורה. As is explained in Eitz Chaim, that the union of kissing, which incorporates the union of attachment of spirit to spirit, is essentially the union of Chabad with Chabad. The godly intellect with human intellect. The union of man's Chachma Bina Das with God's. That is, concentration in the Torah. Deeply connecting with thinking about the logic of Torah and so on, which unites man's Chabad with the intellect of above. This is the Torah. Now, ve'apeh, not only thinking, but actually verbalizing it, that brings it into revelation. והפה הוא מויצא הרוח וגילויה בבחינס גילוי, והיינו בבחינס הדיבור בדברי תורה. While the mouth, as the outlet of the breath and its emergence into a revealed state, represents the category of speech engaged in words of Torah. Now we know. We need to have the meditation, connecting to Hashem, thinking about what Hashem does for us, thinking about the greatness, the great levels of all those angels that are wanting to connect to Hashem, and yet Hashem chooses to connect to us out of the love that Hashem has to us. And this love calls as reciprocal love to Hashem. And in order to manifest it is through a study of the Torah, through meditating, understanding, learning deeply the Torah, and studying the Torah, actually verbalizing the Torah. That's the end of today's share. We'll continue tomorrow in the next other advice what the Alter Rebbe has for us. Have a wonderful day.